That's a free man. We get to obey. A free woman. Romans 6:16. Do you not know that to whom, and a lot of believers in Rome didn't know because a lot of believers today don't know. Do you not know that to whom you present yourself as slaves for obedience, you are the servants of the one whom you obey? If you obey sin, death is your destiny. If you obey righteousness, the house of Yahweh forever, Tehillim 23, is your destiny. Ask yourself, who do you obey? When Yahweh calls and says, don't partake, sin calls and says, do partake, ask yourself, at that moment, on an ongoing, regular basis, who do you obey? When you answer that question, you can determine if you are free and a child of Yahweh, or if you're someone who goes through the motions, but is still a slave, because every time sin tempts you, you fall. Every time sin comes knocking, you fall. I don't want to see the children of Yahweh get tempted. You know why? Because by the children of Yahweh getting tempted, because I can't stop the devil necessarily from tempting people. He tempted Yeshua. I can't stop the devil from tempting you, because the devil will stop being the devil. Amen? But I want to see the people of Yahweh getting tempted, so I know who they're obeying in their lives. See? This shaking, the separating of the wheat and the chaff is so that we see who is a slave in the house. They may be a slave now, but when the kingdom comes, they're not going to abide in the house. See, both slaves and sons are in the house. But in the age to come, the slaves are removed from the house and only the sons remain. Isn't that what Matthew 13 is all about? At the end of the age, what does he do? He takes away what? The wicked tares and leaves the wheat. So do I believe in the rapture? Absolutely. I believe that all the wicked are taken away and the righteous are left behind. Pray to be left behind. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. In the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the flood came and took them all, except Noah's family, took them all away. So it was then, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. So that the wicked have always been taken away, and the righteous have always been left behind. Do I believe in the rapture? Yep. Every slave that's hanging out in the house of Yahweh will be taken away when the King returns.
The earth is Yahweh's and the fullness thereof.
Yes. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, not the skies and the pies in the skies. This is very simple. If you believe in a rapture, either one of two things. In the rapture of the saints, one of two things. Either you're new to the Nazarene faith and there's some room to grow and there's some room for grace, okay? Or you've adopted a theology that is demonic. Study the scriptures. I will write you a $5,000 check every time you show me that the righteous are removed from the earth rather than the wicked being removed. Show it to me. $5,000. And don't mention Enoch, because that's an individual, that was an event, and we're not even 100% sure about Enoch. The Hebrew is kind of wishy-washy. He walked with Yahweh and he was not, for Yahweh took him.
Figure that out.
Now go take him where? New York? Puerto Rico? Havana Pequeña? He didn't say where he took him, did he? But the church naturally assumes, there it is. There it is. Right there, there it is.
Just like
Didn't tell you where he took him. The only thing, of course, Eliyahu did go to heaven. Eliyahu did go to heaven, but that's another story, because he may be one of the two witnesses. Okay, and Yahweh had to make certain exceptions, which is why Yahweh had to bury Moshe, because he had another purpose for Moshe as one of the two witnesses during the great thlipsis, the great tribulation. Don't get me started. I feel another message coming on. I gotta pierce my feet and my mouth. I can't get started in that direction. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Do you not know? Now, in other words, let's get this. Do you not know that to whom you present yourself? Yes, sexual sin. I want to feel good. Yes, abusive. Yetzer hara. Yes, I need to abuse. I'm feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. I need to dominate somebody. I need to lord it over somebody so that I can relieve my feelings of inefficiency and lack of confidence. See? Yahweh says, as soon as that comes on you, and when you obey it, now all of a sudden you're its master. It's your master. It's your master. So, in the Commonwealth of Israel, we have slave and we have son. This is a feast for what? The free people, the liberated people, the sons of Yahweh.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
Yes, Baruch Hashem Yahweh.
The festival of freedom. The house of Yahweh is for the sons of Yahweh. What about the feast of Yahweh? For the sons of Yahweh, not for the slaves. Can the slave show up to the feast?
Yes.
But they're still enslaved.
Yeah.
And that breaks our heart.
Yeah.
That's sad. That a lot of slaves can also show up to the feast.
Yeah.
They may be out of the church system, but they're not out of their own hell and their own private taskmaster.
Right.
It doesn't have to be that way. Rabbi Moshe struggles with sin, and more than all of you struggle with sin. But I don't have to obey it. I can't obey it by definition of what Yahweh has called me to do.
Yeah.
If I got to show up here 3 times a week, there's certain boundaries in my life. We need community, not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but all the more during the Moadim as we see the day approaching. Why do we assemble? To keep tabs of each other?
That's right.
They're behaving awfully strange. Something's not right. Yeah, there's an accountability factor, am I?
Yeah.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Boy, there's so much good stuff here. Turn with me to Tehillim 91. We were talking about this earlier. The scripture, Tehillim, or as Ashley would say, Tehillim. Tehillim. All you Yehudim. All you Yehudim. Turn to Tehillim 91. I've come to realize this thing, that not everybody that I'm eating dinner with is free. They've left the pride of Ashur. They've gone through the Yam Suf in their exodus from religion and returning to the Commonwealth of Israel. But there are personal demons, i.e. taskmasters. And when the taskmaster tantalizes the flesh, they say, Master, how high do you want me to jump? It's tragic. But we don't have to be that way. Ask Yahweh for the victory. He'll give it to you. You have not because you ask not. You know, the truth is, a lot of those folks like the taskmaster, and hearing the taskmaster ring, than hearing the voice of Yahweh and say, the Son abides forever.
Yes.
The slave is in the house, but not forever. Make sense?
Slave is in the
The slave's in the house,
Yeah.
but he won't abide in the house. Therefore, when the Son makes you free, then you'll be free indeed.
That's right.
And you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So what makes you free, sister? The truth? No. The Son? No. The Son and the truth. Torah and Yeshua. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm rolling now. Yochanan 8:32 and 36. You'll know the truth, meaning what? Torah. And when the Son, so meaning you need Son, Revelation 14:12, you need the Son and Torah to be free. We need structure. The Torah gives us structure. Pastor gets up there in the morning and goes, brother, I'll tell you the problem. We're not, as a congregation, we're not walking in the Spirit. That's pretty true. That's true. That's true, Pastor. We're not walking in the Ruach. There's something wrong. We've got to walk in the Ruach the way the Lord walked in the Ruach. Okay, no problem. Now, how do we know how to walk in the Ruach, right from wrong? Torah means instruction. It's a loving instruction manual from the manufacturer to his creation. So when you obey the Torah, you've got structure in your life, so you can't do pagan holidays, so you can't do pagan Shabbats, you can't, and as you're walking in the Spirit, Yahweh will lead you and guide you. And when you see a taskmaster pops up, the old friend calls, let's hang out. No, you taskmaster. You may be my old friend from the hood, but I'm not hanging out with you. I've got new brothers and sisters to hang out with. Read my lips. Anyone in this congregation that has unsaved friends, you are setting yourself up for a fatal fall. Okay? You listen very carefully. Our nature, it is easier for them to drag us back to Mitzrayim than for us to drag us with the two people that are going into the Promised Land. It's very hard to take those people, join them to the two people, and enter the Promised Land. But it's easy for them to appeal to our flesh, to drag us back to the old life. I say that to love you, not to control you. If you have any unsaved friends, relatives you put up with, let's be honest, right? You put up with relatives. You can't get rid of your relatives. Because they're relatively painful. That's why they're called relatives. Close that back door when I'm talking. All right? In other words, why are they called relatives? They're relatively painful, relatively. And the stronger doses of Yeshua you take, they become less painful. Am I talking to somebody? We don't get to choose our relatives, right? When I was a kid, we put up with our relatives on Thanksgiving, on Easter. I was Jewish. Can you imagine what I was doing? Yeah.
Ishtar?
I still am Jewish, but I don't do that anymore. Yeah, we did the whole thing. Eggnog, schmegnog, Christmas trees. Every year when I got saved, my uncle would put a little thing under the Christmas tree, stop preaching. This is when I was a young Moshe boy in 1985, 86, and I was just called to the ministry. Every year, under the Christmas tree, stop preaching. I was already preaching with my uncle in 1984. So anyway, but I mean, they're relative. You don't get to choose your relatives. They're just there. You know what I'm saying? So how do you deal with your relatives? You take big doses of Yeshua and medicate the pain.
Yeah.
I'll best quit while I'm a little bit ahead.
They fly away.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. But when it comes to friends, I am warning you as the best friend you've ever had. How do I say this in a diplomatic way? Get rid of any, that's part of the leaven, that's part of the chametz. I remember a Jewish friend named Arthur Treisman. Every night we used to talk on the phone, boxeo profesional, Sugar Leonard Versailles, Marvin Hagler, La Domaderia, Refaria, Red Broingito, Mills Lane, referee Mills Lane, de Las Vegas, Nevada. Alright? And he beat him, and he's the new middleweight champion. And I was a boxing writer, and I wrote for boxing journals, and I was a professional. I was a big shot going nowhere in my own stupid head. Alright? Then when I got saved, this was in 84. So I'm on Union Turnpike in Queens, and I'm playing Jews for Jesus by the blood of the Lamb, the Paschal song. The blood of the Lamb, the blood of... Yahweh's my witness, strike me dead if I'm lying. This guy says, I can't take this anymore, turn it off. I said, I'm not turning it off. This was my last unsaved friend, 1984. Turn it off. Blood stuff, this is all Christian stuff. I said, no, he's Moshiach, Isaiah 53. So we're driving on Union Turnpike. Yahweh is my witness if I'm exaggerating one iota. We come to a red light. This Jew boy jumps out of the car like he was chasing a bowl of Wall Street cherries. As soon as we pull up to that red light, he books out of that car. Woo! Where you going? Anywhere but here. What was my crime? I was playing blood songs on the radio. Blood songs about Yeshua. That was my last unsaved friend. Then I kind of put two and two together, and I figured Yahweh didn't want me to have him. So in the middle of Union Turnpike, he ran. If you've seen him, let me know. He's probably heading east on Union Turnpike, right past Cunningham Park. Those of you from New York don't remember where Cunningham Park was. Tehillim 90. And we'll start closing because it's getting out of hand. This is definitely Tehillim Tehillim 91. Where was I here? Mhm. Mhm. Okay. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, who abides under the shadow of the Almighty, who says, Yahweh is my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim in whom I trust. For he delivers you from the snare of the trapper, from the destructive pestilence. He covers you with feathers. Under his wings you take refuge. His truth is a shield and armor. You are not afraid of the dread of night. Now here is what's happening, brothers and sisters. In case you want to know why this is happening in Miami Beach now, here it is. Verse 7, 1,000 will fall at our side because they are slaves in the house, and 10,000 at your right hand. It's just not one or two, it's 1,000. 10,000 at your right hand, but it does not come near to you. Only with your eyes you look, and you see the reward of the wrong ones, because you have made Yahweh my refuge, the Most High, your dwelling place. Nowhere did Rabbi Moshe say these are bad people. Believers who have these private taskmasters, they have to obey them every time sin calls. They're not bad people, but they're slaves. And you can't blame the rabbi for their decision. If you change rabbis, they wouldn't stop having sex. Hello? So it's a spirit. It's bondage. It's a spirit. Maaseh Shlichim 20:28. Maaseh Shlichim 20:28. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Is anyone enjoying?
Yes.
Is anyone putting on tefillin today?
Yes.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. 20:28. Maaseh Shlichim 20:28. Acts 20:28. Therefore take heed to yourselves. Brothers, that's what it's all about. Say, are you a slave or a son in the house? If you know the truth, then the son, and if the son makes you free, you'll be free indeed. Can you be in the house and be a slave? Can you be in the house and be a child? So the Passover and Chag Matzot is an ongoing experience. May each person in this congregation next year not be a taskmaster to any sin.
Amen.
May next year find us every whit whole. May this be the last nightmare we go through as a congregation. This has been a nightmare. And it's like the husband or the wife who wonders how can the cheating take place right under their nose. The guy comes home every night. I don't know. I don't know how that can happen, but it can happen. Maaseh Shlichim 20:28. Therefore take heed to yourselves, watch your own life, guard yourselves, and all the flock. Notice, all the flock, among which the set apart Ruach has made you overseers, to shepherd the assembly of Elohim, which he has purchased with his own blood. So first he purchased it. What do we call that? The 14th of Aviv. Once it's purchased, then comes the guarding of the flock. So that part of guarding the flock is teaching them how to live in the house, not as a slave, but as a son.
Amen.
Tehillah. Do you understand what we're doing here? We're teaching people how to live in the house, not as slaves, but as sons. Because the slaves are going to get pushed out of the house.
Yes.
Not by Rabbi Moshe, by Yahweh. This is a warning. When we push somebody out of the house, this is a warning that Rabbi Moshe is a putz. He's only pushing you out of the house for 30 days.
Yeah.
But there's a real master who's going to push you out of the house forever.
Amen.
Take heed. Take the warning. Take it good. Don't get bummed out. Don't get depressed.
There's time.
This is a warning that what Rav Moshe is doing in the natural is going to take place in the spiritual. Grab the warning, learn from the warning, decide to become a child in the house rather than a slave in the house. And don't get angry at the leadership. Thank Yahweh that they are guarding the flock that Yahweh has purchased with his own blood. We are not maintaining the flock. We are not maintenance workers. We are overseeing the flock. taking those that we see that are bringing slavery into the house and bringing others into slavery, pushing them out of the house, saying, brother, it's better to be pushed out of the house by flesh and blood for 30 days than be pushed out of Yahweh's house for eternity. This is love. I wish and I hope and I pray you understand. I mean, I'm a little bit slow in the head, but I'm not an idiot. I don't happen to like asking people to leave that help me run this ministry. These are key people. And when they leave, I'm left without helpers. I'm not an idiot. A little bit slow, but I'm not an idiot. But I will not tolerate that. And because Yahweh will. So Yahweh says, I have made you overseers to make sure that the feasts are feasts of freedom. Freedom. Meaning, yeah, I struggle with sin, but I'm free from obeying that sin. Remember what we read in Romans 6:14? Whatever calls the shots in your life, that is your taskmaster. Do you remember we read that? If sin calls the shots, you're a slave. If Yeshua calls the shots, you're free.
Hallelujah.
Who calls the shots? Go home and ask yourself. When sin calls, do you answer the door? If you don't, then you're a child of Yahweh. When sin calls, do you answer the door? And we close with this. I got so much good stuff. I can't do it all. I can't do it all. I can do some of it, but I can't do it all. I'm going to close with this. I want you to have a little time with the mishpacha before you have to go back to Shvoik. Vayikra 14. Vayikra 14. We won't read the whole thing, we'll just read a few verses. Brother, you already got 100 tapes at home. Just take one at a time. So, and when you're ready for another 100 tapes, let me know. I'll get the tape minister to make them. Me, in this case. I am now the new tape minister. That's how bad things are getting. Vayikra 14, verse 1. Yahweh spoke to him, but that's what I'll do for someone that's hungry for the word. Okay, I was up till late at night making your tapes. Okay? 1, 2 o'clock, because I know you're hungry for the word. He started with 100, he's going to do the other 500 later. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Yahweh spoke to Moshe saying, This shall be the Torah of the leper for the day of his cleansing. Leprosy is a type of leaven, sin, bondage. He shall be brought to the Kohen. Not Abraham Cohen, but the Kohen. And the Kohen shall go out of the camp, and the Kohen shall look and see if the leprosy is healed in the leper. Then the Kohen will command, and take for him who is to be cleansed, 2 live, clean birds. Circle those words, clean birds. And cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the Kohen shall command and kill one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. Let him take the living bird and the cedar wood and the scarlet and the hyssop, dip them and the live bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. He will sprinkle the living bird 7 times. He will sprinkle 7 times the leper who is to be cleansed from the leprosy and shall pronounce him clean. He will let the live bird loose in the open field. Why would I read this? What does this have to do with the festival of freedom? This is the Torah of leprosy. What does this have to do with the festival of freedom? Why would I read this?
Taking the sin out.
I'm glad you asked.
Wow.
We are called to be, Romans 12, 1 and 2, living sacrifice. Holy, acceptable to Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. Be not conformed to the spirit of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, which is the good, perfect, acceptable will of Yahweh. The dead bird is a type of the slave in the house.
Come on.
The living bird is you and I,
Hallelujah.
who when sprinkled with the blood of cleansing and the water of cleansing. The blood, Yeshua didn't come by blood alone, Brian, but by the blood and the water and the resurrection. For when they pierced his side, out of his side burst out blood and water. We are that living bird, that living bird, who when washed with blood and water becomes a living sacrifice.
Hallelujah.
Unlike the dead bird suffering as a slave in the house for the, how many know the slaves also have a paycheck?
Wages. The wages.
Romans 6:23 tells us
Wages.
the wages of sin is death. The dead bird inherits the wages of sins. Our brothers and sisters at our table, but their feasts, their rituals, their Torah, but they're not freedom festivals. We, the living birds, the children of Yahweh, who will abide not just in the house temporarily, but we will abide in the house forever. Because we've been washed, we've been blood redeemed, we've been sprinkled with hyssop. And now look at the end of verse 7. He will sprinkle it 7 times. On him, the water and the blood of the dead bird. Are you with me? The water and the blood of the dead bird. Who else could that dead bird be? Yeshua. He died to set you free. He didn't die to forgive you. That's Pesach, 14th of Aviv. He died to set you free. Permanently. He died so like that bird, that other bird in the Torah of the leper, so that the Kohen, meaning Yahweh, Yeshua, can pronounce you clean and seal that pronouncement by letting the bird loose in the field. And Scripture tells us in Matthew 13 that the field is the world. The field is the world. You and I are that cleansed by water and by blood of Yeshua bird, set free in the world, children in Yahweh's house, and then cleansed and free to go to the nations and bring Ephraim home. Father, we thank you. We thank you for this tov or Abba Yahweh, we put on the tefillin today.